Team, Dean Casmenta here, your coach. I hope you are well. So as we go from week 1 through to week 2, really important as part of the fitness 16,000 step challenge that we address or talk about just a couple of things. Firstly, around what is this program all about? Okay, really quite simple. As the title says, it's a 16,000 step challenge. It is the biggest step challenge out of all the challenges. We're not looking at pushing high levels of huff and puff and intensity like the sports only challenge, but looking at stepping between 14 to 16 kilometers per day, which is equivalent to 16,000 steps. So hats off to you for being part of this challenge. I know you have your own objectives and I'm looking forward to you sharing those with us and with the group in future sessions together, okay? I suppose moving forward, there are some bigger picture thinking associated with this challenge, and I'll share with you as I just close out this video. In regards to the details of this program, okay, so it's 30 days, as you know, okay, we're sort of into week 1, about a week and almost a week into the challenge, okay, but we have one lunch and learn and one email that comes from me using the InKin platform, as you already know, making sure that from an onboarding process that should be all taken care of by now. So it's 30 days, 30-day challenge, 16,000 steps target at any varied intensity, one lunch and learn, one email that comes from me. In regards to the topics that are going to be explored in those lunch and learns and in those emails, either via video or a blog or an article that I'll write, okay, it's really important that in that first lunch and learn that you share as much information in the Q&A, which we're having next week. So I encourage you to accept the invitation to the lunch and learns and share the Q&A, so they'll actually help maybe me adjust that menu so it really does hit the mark in regards to what's important to you. And think about importance, and I suppose that sort of steps into the reasons why we're doing it. I've just made some notes here. You know, I think the way I see it with all the challenges, it is about raising our standards physically, mentally and emotionally. But to answer that why question, I have to really put that back onto you. You know, why is it that you're being part of this challenge? What's the real value, the service, the benefit to you? What do you want to really get out of it? And by the very nature of getting that out of it, whatever that is, how does that benefit all areas of your life? You know, start to think about that. I want this personally to be a platform for you to be able to build your sense of self-belief, self-worth, you know, to acknowledge success, even if it's through this platform of stepping 16,000 steps. You'd be surprised what these type of environments, how they have a pervasive effect into all other areas. And speaking of pervasiveness, I think the really, really important thing to think about, and you may have heard me say this before, is that when you go about making those small conscious changes towards stepping 16,000 steps, okay, people around you will start witnessing it either consciously or unconsciously. And you know what starts to happen? People start doing the same, especially the ones that you love, okay? And we know stepping 16,000 steps is going to be, and research proves it, great for the body, great for the brain, okay? And if we can influence as many people as we possibly can, I think that's a really good legacy to leave. You know, so really think about the impact other than yourself, but the impact that your choices have on everybody else as you use or as part of this 16,000 step challenge, okay? And as we think about moving forward into the future, one thing that sort of comes to mind as I close this video, when we look at activity, okay, beyond raising your personal standards and looking at the benefits physically, mentally and emotionally, okay, is to work towards the national or the local national activity guidelines of adults, okay? And this is it's quite similar, doesn't matter what state, doesn't matter what country you're at, and that includes, okay, at least 2 weight training sessions a week. So being part of this challenge, you might not be there yet. And also 2 other things, optional things. An hour and 15 to an hour and 50 minutes, or 115 minutes to 150 minutes of vigorous activity, cardiovascular vigorous activity accumulated per week, or 2.5 hours to 5 hours of moderate cardiovascular activity per week accumulated per week. That is a minimum guideline that we want all adults across all countries to achieve, okay? There's so much research and so much science behind that, you know, and I want this to be the catalyst, to be the start point, to getting us, being that very best of us, that very best version of ourselves, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, okay? And as I said, bringing as many people along the journey too. So I hope this video truly finds you well. If you have any questions, any concerns, please make sure you get in contact with me from more of a practical, health and wellbeing perspective. Anything technical, make sure you get in contact with Mel at melbournecorporatehealth.com.au. Until then, take care. Speak to you soon. Bye.